So the Supreme Court on June 15th, I guess I should say we're back. We're back. We had a little frozen thing there that I know y'all didn't miss, but I appreciate your patience and your knowing. Can I just offer an idea here that that's always a great time to go to prayer? Rather than fretting and sweating it out, just know that everything is working together for good and that there is an opportunity to just be still and know that something higher, something greater. Would it be all right if I said that worry is not worth its time? It doesn't give us anything good ever. So worry is just this, like gears grinding upon themselves. I offer that a moment of prayer and a willingness to know that something, whatever it is working out for our highest and best. Let's begin to practice that always. Just an idea. Do as you want to do. I'm just offering an idea in passing since we're here together. So look, the Supreme Court on June 15th of this year ruled. It's sometimes it boggles the mind as I read certain words. Sometimes I'm just shocked that in my lifetime, in the year 2020, halfway through the year 2020, when we have declared 2020 in 2020, that the Supreme Court has just ruled that civil rights law also protects gay and transgender workers. So it's boggling the mind on the level that it is civil rights law. I mean, I'm just saying, this is why this notion of not being political it's not anything I'm trying to do. Because it's a civil rights law written to protect and actualize the laws that ensure that all are covered to be treated civilly, just basic civility, that you have a right to education, that you have a right to health service, to work, to the basics. And so it's not till June, halfway through the month, halfway through the year 2020, that the Supreme Court says that the language of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits sex discrimination, applies to discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Well, I'm just glad they came to the party. Because that for me, and I'm wanting for our children and their children, and their children, and beyond as far as time can go, that would have just been understood, that it covers everybody all the time. So instead, this is a landmark civil rights law that protects gay and transgender workers from workplace discrimination, handing the movement for LGBT plus equality a long sought and unexpected victory. Now, I beg to differ with unexpected, because I want us to bring a consciousness of expectation, of divine expectation. And beginning at the present, any employer who fires an individual merely for being gay or transgender now defies the law. So it's very clear that there's a crack in our foundation. I want to bring us to the co-founders of Black Lives Matter movement, because Black Lives Matter movement is founded by queer women. And so it's Opal, Alicia, and Patrice who said we wanted to connect people who were already buzzing about all this stuff and to get them to do something. Yes, other than just be bothered by it. Not just to retweet or like or share. We thought, how do we get folks together and take that energy and create something awesome? Alicia Garza said about starting the group, she said, we were courageous enough to call it what it was, but more than that, to offer an alternative, an aspirational message, is what Opal said. Black Lives Matter. An aspirational message. Black Lives Matter, that we would begin to consider that they do. Now, I know that they do. I know that they always have, but we've been slow to catch up as a people in terms of our systems. This is why we got to be political. That's why politics is a part of this, because the change is in the structure. Why? Because there's a crack in our foundation. So when there's a crack in our foundation, we don't go get the little fingernail repair kit to do it. We don't go out there with glue and tape and carry on. We know we need an engineer. We know we have to do something or the whole thing could collapse upon itself. So look, every time I think about this notion of Black Lives Matter, and there's two things. There's the movement, Black Lives Matter, and then there's the reality, Black Lives Matter. And I have to tell you that matter is a low bar. And so that's why I want to up the ante on our energy about, but I get that for some people it's an awakening that Black Lives Matter, because historically we have treated Black lives, Black people, Black men, Black women, Black children, as if their lives do not matter. So this is an important notice for us to come to a point where they matter. But I want you to see, now, do I have to be specific that LGBTQ plus lives matter? Is that how we gonna live? That we gotta name everybody who matters? Can we just have life matter? That humanity matters. Do we have to have a movement? Do we have to have laws on the books that get so specific because we don't have sense enough to what? Just love everybody. So Opal says this, one of the founders, implicit bias are subconscious associations of race, permeates everything we do. And she says we must pursue systemic accountability to fix it. That's why we have to be politic. We have to, because that's the system from which change happens. To sit on the sidelines and turn it over to folks who do not care or do not love and apparently don't know the principle of love and the truth teaching. Black Lives Matter. Alicia Garza says this. She says, Black Lives Matter, the organization. See, anytime we can say it started, we know it's not just the notion that Black Lives Matter, because that always has been true. But when we say it had a starting date, we know it's the movement, it's the organization. She says Black Lives Matter started from a post that she put on Facebook after the acquittal of George Zimmerman. She said she woke up like many of us. This is why what President Barack Obama said, your voice can make a difference. Your voice can make the change that we're all been waiting for. She woke up like so many of us did, sobbing, realizing what happened and wanting to find a community around being in a lot of grief and having a lot of rage and wanting a change. And so she lifted her voice in a way. Your voice makes a difference. See, I'm not saying don't cry, don't grieve, don't be upset. Go through the entire grieving process. You know, it has its stages. Go ahead, honor it. But at some point, you got to be able to stand for something beyond just the pain and the grief of it all. Yes. In Matthew 9, we're talking about change here. And we've been here before in Matthew 9, 16, and 17. It's this notion, and most of us know this. I'm here to remind you. I'm not pretending that you'll ever come to Heart and Soul or tune into Heart and Soul, and I'm going to tell you something you didn't know. I'm not expecting that that's true, because what I know about learning is that it's repetition. So a huge part of my job is to remind you of what you already know and give you a push, by the way, in the direction of your highest and best. So the instruction from Scripture is, do not try to patch an old garment, a threadbare garment, with a new patch. It's saying you're going to have to do something else. And in case you don't get that part, that he's offering, the master teacher, Yeshua, that the world ultimately came to call Jesus, is offering you an alternate. For the wine drinkers, y'all would understand, you don't be pouring the new wine into an old bottle. That the idea here is that we're going to have to change more. We're going to have a structural change. There's a structural change, and we must be willing to reimagine and initiate systemic change. Because remember, the foundation is cracked. And so it requires a structural shift. We're not just going to prop it up. This time, we are engaged in really fixing it. But James Baldwin, I got to invoke James Baldwin when he says, any real change, not to fake a rue, not we just passing through for the season. Once we out of shelter in place, we're going to go back to the real. This is where we are moving to a new normal. Do you understand what that means when we say it? It ain't going to be the same. That's what that means. But somebody would say, oh, thank God, because we don't want it the same. Thank God. James Baldwin reminds us any real change implies the breakup of the world as we've always known it. The loss of all that gave one an identity and the end of safety. This is where we're putting everything on the line. We're saying this new normal. Now, here's the thing. Let's just tell the truth. There's going to be some stuff you're going to wish you still had. But that stuff was based on a lie. So you can't keep that either. See, this is what has people fall out. They're like in it until you get, oh, I'm going to have to cross the bridge. I wasn't planning on going, I'm going to have to stand next to them. I'm going to have to include this. I'm going to have to see. He says any real change, your whole world, you got to be willing to lay it on the line. Why? Because you believe in something greater. There's a greater possibility that is waiting to unfold in your life. In life. And each of us hanging on to our sacred cows. Y'all understand sacred cows. You know I'm not talking about cows and mooing. I mean those things that you want to be, but, change all that, but don't change this. I want to be able to do this. I don't want to have to change my diet. I want my health to change. But I still intend to eat the pork rinds. Little pork rind couldn't hurt. And this is where your whole world, you're going to have to be willing to change it all. Do you understand? I hope, but it's okay because I'll be back with that slide again. So it's not of any real consequence. So look at here. Alicia Garza offers us this. She says, for us, hashtag Black Lives Matters is really a rehumanization project. Can you feel that? So I know it's been called a lot of stuff by a lot of people. But if at the level of the founding of the thing, she's saying that it's really a rehumanization project. Ah, yes, a rehumanization project. It's a way for us to love each other again. I don't think I've ever seen that in the media about Black Lives Matter. To project that love into the world. Why? So that we can transform it. Because we understand that love is the highest power. We know at the level of vibration that love is the highest vibration. that when we are in love, we are at the highest possible frequency. Dr. David Hawkins, his map of consciousness, the frequency of love can change everything. That's what that means. So this is what hashtag Black Lives Matter ought to mean. I know it has a lot of meaning. Everybody gets to choose, but I'm just trying to tell you, by design, that's what's intended. That's the intention of it. That's what it's saying. Get on board. It's consistent with Matthew 22, where the master teacher Yeshua, that the world ultimately came to call Jesus, is being challenged. Like, okay, there's these commandments, but tell us which one, because we're going to pick just one, right? Just tell us which one is the greatest and first commandment. And of course, it's to love the living one, the strong one, the Lord Jehovah, your God, whatever that is, by any name or frequency or vibration, whatever that is, love that completely. But the second, look at here, is you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Isn't that what Billy Porter was singing and working out for us all? We saw him work it out. Love yourself. Love yourself. And I have to add that as a general rule, I appreciate your love. But if you're not loving you, I'm going to ask you to miss me with that. Until such time as you work it out that you loving you, because it's a little scary. It's a little scary because the thing is, we call a lot of stuff love. And if you're not loving you, God only knows what you're trying to put on us. So it's like, just love yourself. In the words of Billy Porter, love yourself. And then start spreading that around. Because the law, the spiritual law, as it's written, according to this scripture, is that everything rests on that. I know we want to cash in some other chips. I'm doing this. I'm helping. I'm volunteering. I'm doing some good stuff. But if you're not loving, the law and how it works for you is based on how you love. I have this sense that our freedom, and we're declaring 2020 in 2020. And what we are affirming is freedom. And here's the thing, that it has to include self-love. I know you might have been raised in a way that said that that's selfish, but I just need to tell you, if you can't love you, the likelihood of you loving other people, it's because you haven't practiced. You haven't been doing it yet. Love on you a while. Let us see how that looks. And then we'll say, yeah, get a little bit of, splash some of that on me. But until then, just love you. No offense intended at all, but it's the proper order to things. A compelling vision for humanity, treated humanely, no matter how they appear or how they present or from whence they've come or how old they are or what they have or don't have or used to have or wish they could have. There's a compelling vision for civil rights for all. And then there's a whole list of when folks are humane. You know, there are some countries that just when I look at how they treat their people, it just seems to me that they're not confused that those are their people. Because they're all covered with health care. They know how important rest is. And so everybody who's working gets a vacation. When folks give birth, the family unit gets some time because they understand life. And they want to, as a system, as a political system that provides and allocates resources, they say, you know what, if we do this for everybody, And I could be painting with a broad brush of my utopia, but leave me alone. That they have decided that in order to have this work, we got to include everybody. Oh, my heart yearns for a consciousness that isn't worried about whether, if you give somebody food stamps, whether they're going to use that little bit of food stamp on something you don't want them to have. You're not even supposed to have no opinion. It's not enough for all that weigh in. Just treat people right and they do right. Isn't that the axiom? Treat people as you want them to be. Not like your worst fear of how they might be. Broad-based coalitions. That's what's happening. The Supreme Court decision helps us to see we's in this together. So on the little virtual gay pride march, it ought to be well represented with lots of color. We're in this together. And then when there's the march on behalf of the brothers and the sisters and the children taken out, the protest that is intended to make it clear that lives matter. I'm expecting to see LGBTQ plus representation. Because what? We can't just say we're in here together when it's convenient. We're in this together. It's a long-term commitment. We were there in 1969. We're there in 2020. It's a season for radical change. James Baldwin tried to tell you there's a lot of stuff that's going to change. Some of it you ain't going to like. But there's going to be radical change. And what emerges is a new normal. And that new normal is freedom, and it's liberty, and it's love, and it's inclusion, and it's acceptance. The new normal is the world we all want to live in if we got good sense. No, I'm not even going to go there. Alicia Garza, saying Black Lives Matter both literally and figuratively restores people's dignity. That's why we're going to keep saying it. Because we need to hear it. The world is not evidencing that for us. So we have to say it. Why? Because we also believe that word has power. When the truth is spoken aloud, there's a point in time where it becomes the thing. So we're saying it a lot. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Because they do. And at some point, we'll all be saying it. And at some point, we won't even have to say it. It will be but right now, we got to say it because it's not as clearly understood. We still argue. I'm not even. All, and don't give me no colors about lives, because lives don't have colors. Don't tell me nothing about all lives matter, because if they did, we wouldn't need a movement to announce Black Lives Matter. And we need a movement that announces Black Lives Matter. We deserve a multiracial democracy that works for all of us. I am so grateful for the way that Opal worded that, because for Centers for Spiritual Living, of which Heart and Soul Center of Light is an affiliate, and we are so affiliated that I am honored to be the co-chair of the CS Centers for Spiritual Living Ministers Council. So we are like all the way in. And what we're up to is a world that works for everyone. And that's exactly what the Black Lives Matter movement is about. Saying a multiracial democracy. So I don't know nothing about a world that works for everybody that wouldn't be multiracial. And this notion of it working for all of us. All I can tell you is Heart and Soul is doing its best this morning to celebrate, to lift up Pride 2020 with a new twist that we would understand that there is but one movement, and we're in it. It's a movement for humanity, but we have to just say this notion of humanity has, as we bandy it about, has too often left out folks who look like me and our same gender loving brothers and sisters and trans brothers and sisters. And so until we really get it, we gotta say it out loud. I love you. And I'm grateful that we have this time together and that we're doing it today in celebration of Pride 2020. It's all right. It's going to be difficult. A lot has to happen. But in the final analysis, as the impression said, it's all right.
Say it's alright, it's alright, it's alright to have a good time, and it's alright, oh, it's alright, we're gonna move it slow when the lights are low. When you move it slow, it sounds like a more, and it's alright, oh, it's alright. Now listen to the beat and kind of pat your feet. You've got soul, and everybody knows that it's alright, oh, it's alright. Wake up early in the morning, feeling sad like so many of us do. Oh, my little soul, make life your goal, and surely something's gotta come to you. Say it's alright, it's alright, it's alright to have a good time, and it's alright, whoa, it's alright. Everybody clap your hands, give yourself a chance. You've got soul, and everybody knows that it's alright, whoa, it's alright. Someday the world will be changed. It will love and treat me real nice. Then my woes gotta go. My love I will know from morning, noon, and night that it's alright. It's alright. It's alright to have a good time, and it's alright.
Thank you so much, Charles Peoples III, for reminding us that it's always all right in God. And thank you, Reverend Andriette, for reminding us that we're doing things at Heart and Soul Center of Light to express our love, because love is the highest possible vibration. And then we share in ways that reflect our love. And you can join us in this loving endeavor by giving your gift graciously and generously to Heart and Soul Center of Light. You can mail your gift to Heart and Soul Center of Light at 1001 42nd Street, Suite 100, Oakland, California, 94609. You can give online at heartsoulcenter.org/give. And you can set that up as a one-time gift or a recurring gift that gives whenever you set that increment for giving. That's all up to you. My favorite way of giving is to text to give. Just text the word give to 510 500 5849. Whatever way you choose to give is right and perfect. And it's also important that we observe our tradition here at Heart and Soul of being thankful and blessing our gift before it is even given, thereby establishing the good that our gift will do in the world. And so wherever you are in the world right now, I invite you to take your gift in hand, or otherwise just place your hand on your heart as we say our blessing together. I bless this gift as healing energy and send it into the divine flow of all good. Infinite prosperity circulates through me, through my church, and throughout the world because I know God as source. And so it is.
It's alright. It's alright. It's alright to have a good time, and it's alright. Oh, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright to have a good time, and it's alright.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Tammy. Austin, North Carolina, Reno, Nevada, and then all the local folks are showing up as well. New Jersey, Costa Rica, Ohio, Jackson, Mississippi, Jafrica. So thank you for tuning in and being with us and knowing that a change is going to come. But right now, we are on for real, an adventure in faith 2020 in 2020. Yes, we are expecting a miracle. And this is what kind of, when I was reading about the Supreme Court decision, this notion of not expecting the change. We're expecting a miracle, and you can have support in shifting your thinking because that's not automatic. For many, the anticipation is for the worst case scenario. Some have been through so many difficult situations and circumstances that what's important is for us to change our thinking, our sense of how the world gets to be the way it is. And so, a thing that could help with that is tomorrow night. Every Monday night, I'm understanding through July as well, but let's just stay with tomorrow night at 6:30 to 7:15. Our practitioners, our heart and soul practitioners, are doing a book study. Our devotional for this year is A Year of Miracles. Why? Because we're expecting a miracle. By Marianne Williamson is our daily devotional. And so our practitioners are doing a book study. It is phenomenal. Be there. You're beginning to train your thinking to expect higher, better. Yes? Higher, better, best. Look, summer school is coming out every summer. This is our 11th summer school. However, it is our very first virtual summer school. So it begins I'm almost afraid to say July 8th, which is just in a moment. And it goes through, it's 7 Wednesday evenings, July 8th through August 19th. And just so you know, locally folks understand this, but I know some of you will be joining us from a distance. It's an adult summer school. That is to say, it's not for children, certainly teens who, if they're going to be focused, so there's a read, so we'll be getting you all of the information. There's a book that we read together. There are activities. It's an amazing experience. We'll be telling you more about it as we go. It requires, for the first time ever, you must sign up. Because it's virtual, we want to make sure that the room is safe, and so we want to make sure we get everybody in via registration. So the link is there. If you get our newsletter, it's in there. If you don't get our newsletter, the chat, the moderators will remind you how to do that. It's typically on every slide, so you can be supported in that. But summer school, July 8th through August 19th. Tammy Hall, you are getting such a treat. We get such a treat whenever Tammy Hall is with us. This amazing talent is shared every Thursday on Facebook from 6 to 8. You want to get you some of this. You do. But whether you have time to be there, I know you can't necessarily stay for the whole time, but get in there and give a contribution. Tammy is a major contributor to the universe with her artistry and her consciousness. And so we want to support her in all of that and more. Yes? All righty then. Also, CP3. So Charles Peoples III, Empowered. And you see the link in order to get there. Once again, it will be in our recap, so you'll be able to just click the link. In the meantime, I know they're posting it there for you so that you can capture it. The main point is to show up to get some of this good stuff that is being offered to you. Marcus Books. I think I told you last Sunday that I saw on Sunday, somebody called me because I would not typically have it on Sunday morning. The Sunday Morning Today Show was featuring Blanche Richardson of Marcus Books. And she was talking about just how it has changed for them because there are so many. You know, we also did an ally book list. So we published the 75 things to do. I think it was 75 things for white folks to do. And a huge part of that is to read some books, to be aware. So you're not just asking your black friends how to do this and what it is, that you come to it with your own interest and willingness to invest in it. So many people are reading and they're going to Marcus Books to get the book list. So it's a very exciting time for them. This is their 60th anniversary. We're asking that you still please support them through all of this, through your donations, as well as whatever books you can purchase that are a part of their inventory. Also, Kingston 11, which we've always known as the town's gathering space. We're not gathering there now, but Thursday through Saturday, you can get it to go. So let's do the right thing. Just, call them up, get the little order, pick it up, because what we want ultimately are the places that matter to you, the places that these two retailers are our partners. So we are in partnership, and this is why we feature them every week. This is not a paid spot. This is because they have given so much to us that we want to make sure that after we're sheltered in place, that they are still there thriving. Yes? Yes. Good thing. We want you to know that our young people are also gathering virtually. So the teens gather beginning at 11:30 every Sunday. If you have a teen that you want to participate, you need to send an email. Again, it's all about safe space. So reach out to them via email, get the lay of the land, and then they'll set you up. Likewise with our littles. You understand how important that is. They meet at 4 p.m. and our littles are from age 4 to 12. Send an email so that you can get the information required for the login once you understand what they're up to and are in agreement with that. Yes, but I want you to know that our young folks are getting some good stuff. And prayer after service every Sunday, we offer prayer. And we do it not via video because we want you to have whatever anonymity you want to have as you request prayer. So we ask that you dial in. The information is there, and I know the moderators are also putting it in the chat for you. And so get some prayer. When prayer is offered, just walk right up to the front and get some. It's just a wise way to live. Let me just say that. Don't be through the week wishing you'd gotten some. And I should tell you that at 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, you can go back and get some more. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That we do for you, that we do for us, that we do because it's essential. And we are committed to the transformation of the planet in alignment with the highest possible vision. And so, with that as an intention, I ask that you just join me in prayer. Join me in knowing that something quite magnificent has happened here in the acknowledgement, the divine recognition of the living one, the whole one, our awareness, my awareness that there is but one life, one whole, perfect, and complete life that is operating right now in and as me, in and as each and every one of us, no matter where we are, or how we have been. There is a divine vibration that is the living one that is breathing each and every one of us, even as we are breathing the living one, that we are living the life of the divine, even as the life of the divine is living us, that something quite magnificent is happening in each and every one of us, that there is a divine vibration from the top of, no, it goes beyond that. I almost said the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. But it really expands beyond that for each and every one of us. And when we come together, we are literally overlapping energetic fields. And so I know that this gives us a sense of our oneness, our divine connectedness. And so I'm rejoicing. I'm rejoicing that today is the day that we get it. That we get that Black Lives Matter, that life matters, and that the day comes in prayer right now, that the day comes when we no longer have to remind each other that Black Lives Matter, that LBGTQ plus lives matter. And for anyone who's saying aloud something that I've missed, that matters, that we matter, that they matter, that all of us, that we're truly in this love together. Oh, I just speak this word from a vantage point of knowing that there's a shift, afoot, that right where we are right now is the perfect spot. It's the perfect launch, the perfect jumping off place into our greatest yet to be. So I rejoice in the health and well-being. I know that there are those who are claiming it today in a new way. That I offer blessings and condolences to those who have lost their beloveds during this time of shelter in place for either the COVID virus or anything else, because grief is grief, and in the passing of our beloveds, I stand in love and in deep caring and compassion, knowing that we cannot name nor number all of our beloveds that we have released during this time. And I just want to honor that and pause for a moment. That we say within our souls, and even call out if we choose, but that we just honor eternal life in its shift and this experience that we call death and transition. And then we infuse it with love. And we surround it in love and deep caring so that we know that we're not just expending it for those who have gone on, but that we have love in our hearts and compassion in our mind and our very being for those who are still here. And there are so many who are in need of and desirous of our caring and our love and our acceptance. And so I speak this word, that this be fulfilled, that we find that we find that our capacity is expanded, that we can love more generously and with wild abandon, that we include everyone in the circle, that something is changing about us, that as it shifts, we change the world. Oh, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for our willingness to be the change that we want to see in the world. I'm grateful for our investment in ourselves and each other. I'm grateful for the way that all of this unfolds. I know that my word cannot possibly return void, that it must absolutely produce in like kind. So I know that there's a healing afoot. I know that for someone it has already shifted at the point of awareness, and I give thanks. It is an absolute perfect gratitude that I just let go, that in letting go, I'm releasing this word into the perfect activity of law. I am accepting it as so, knowing that it's done and done well in God. I simply let it be. Now and forevermore, I declare amen, ashe, and so it is. Yes, yes. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for, y'all can't see the folks here, but I want you to know that we are well supported. And I know we had a little glitch where our system crashed, but I just want to give props where props are due for the way, with grace, that we brought it back up. Now, I say we in the royal sense, because y'all know I never left the pulpit. But the thing did come back up, and we were all good to go. Yes? So I'm grateful. Send a note of love to the folks who staff this and make it happen. CP3, Charles Peoples III, grateful, so very grateful for your love and for your being here today. Tammy Hall, as always, as a member of Heart and Soul, I love you, and I'm just grateful that you're here. Some of you are commenting because you might have seen a bit of a glare, depending upon what you focused your attention on, while Charles was offering his gift. And I want you to know that it's our intention. Maybe, can we show them? Can we do that? Ooh, look at me directing here. You know this is out of order. I may be in trouble later, but I'm going to do it now. Because what I want you to see is that one of our members, our beloved members, Dan Calvin, built a shield for us, because part of what we understand with the COVID virus, that one of the greatest concerns is for singers, that as they are projecting, as they must. And so what we've decided is that this is what we will do, so that we are committed to us being safe, and we want to do this. We want to be able to produce our services this way, and so we've making certain, to the best of our ability, to do everything we can so that we're all more safe during this time, as instructed. But for now, we're going to go out, first of all, knowing that I love you beyond human measure. I'm just so glad that we do this, that we have this, that this is who we are and how we are. But we're going to close with Charles Peoples III with a video clouds.
To be. That's all we want. To be loved, to be treated fairly, to be given the same chances as everyone else, to have the opportunity to do what makes us happy. We begin to think that life is outside of ourselves, that what we seek, what we desire are things that we don't already have. Love, money, fame, power, fortune. We seek peace and love outside of ourselves. We reach, hoping to grab onto something that will make us feel okay, even if just for a second. We think, we try, we hunt, we push, we hold on for dear life, trying to stay afloat. All we wanted was to be, and be okay with being. I have searched the skies, I have searched the oceans, I have searched through books, I have searched through life, but now I know there is a love inside me. There is a power inside me. I'm all I've ever needed. I've always had the answers. They've been waiting inside me, inside you, waiting for us to allow it to be. To be. To be. That's all we wanted.